My name's Julie McGregor. I'm from New Zealand and I currently live and have lived for 7 years in Cambodia.
Julie was an ambitious young woman who had worked in the corporate world in New Zealand. She was a high achiever and she worked hard at everything she did. But after a personal life crisis, she needed a change of pace from her life in New Zealand.
I called out to God and just said to him, I need to see you at work in a bigger context than my life. And so my church said, well, there's a lady in Cambodia who we support and she needs some help for a couple of months. So that's how I first got there. And I haven't moved back. So Cambodia is home now. In the beginning, I was working with small Christian organisations, doing leadership development, but really my whole rhythm of life was the same.
Even though she moved to Cambodia to be a missionary, Julie's focus on achievement and getting results never changed.
I was very good at doing work for Jesus. All I did was swap being paid a lot for not being paid a lot, from living and working in a Western context around the world to living and working in a third world context. I was still making sure I was achieving and being valuable. I thought I have to be valuable to God and use every skill that He's given me, and I have to be value for the supporters that are sending me.
This pressure to achieve was crushing to Julie. So she began seeking the Lord, asking Him to uncover the root of her desire for success.
And my identity, He showed me, was caught up in achieving. And all I really had done was swap my context, but I was still working for Him, but He showed me I wasn't working with Him.
Julie began reorienting her focus on the Lord instead of the things that she could do for the Lord.
If our relationship with our Father, if our intimate relationship with the Lord is put on the back burner and is not the bullseye, is not the central focus, then we will burn out and we will be toxic to the very people that we have been called to love.
As Julie's heart became aligned with God's heart, He opened a completely new door of ministry for her.
Now, after a long journey, now I work in Cambodia's largest women's prison in Phnom Penh. I teach Bible, we worship. I've never been to seminary. I'm completely unqualified to be doing what I'm doing, yet God truly is so strong in my weakness. The women in my class, which has grown over the last 5 years from about 6 people to 40, is made up of women from all over the world, every continent.
Julie began listening to Revive Our Hearts when she came to Cambodia. As she listened, she found the Revive Our Hearts resources to be invaluable to her in this new ministry to women in prison.
God has used Revive Our Hearts, Nancy, and the podcast on the app. Thank goodness for the internet that I can actually access these resources from a place like Cambodia. It doesn't matter the time zone I'm in, and it doesn't matter that we don't have shops or places that I can go to access resources like you can in this country. And it was through listening to Revive Our Hearts that I actually really thought, oh, I actually don't think I know my Bible. And so that was the beginning of me letting projects go and doing less, it would seem, to the outside world, really studying God's word for myself and now teaching the women in the prison to study for themselves. And God is transforming them as they recognize their true identity. I am so grateful. I have no idea how I would have done a lot of the ministry that I've done in the last couple of years if I hadn't had access to the Revive Our Hearts podcast.